is where you need it to be. From there, yeah, the core loop. This, as you may have noticed, is a reinforcing loop. Kind of. I don't know. It's weird. Like, it's a reinforcing loop when it works right. Like, think about Minecraft. You have to think about Minecraft a lot as a game developer, and we're going to be using a bunch of examples from it today, because it's just like, it is the easiest thing to dissect. Paying testers, oh my goodness. Ooh. I cannot think of a single better way to mess up feedback than to pay testers. Ooh, that's rough. No, but for real though, guys, advertise. Advertising unbiased testers is the way you need to go. In fact, it's gotten to the point where I don't even trust my own testers from my own group that much. Like, I'll do it for basic testing to get bugs out of the way, but you need new users to test your games. You can't just rely on the same old ones because those ones are biased. Those ones will be your base. And yeah, so the Roblox has a built-in chat feature that almost no one uses because they don't display it. They don't tell people about it. Roblox chat, the Roblox chat was it hasn't been updated in a decade, arguably. It's at least in a meaningful way. Who knows? Maybe with voice chat and emotes, we'll start seeing that a bit more. I'd love to have emojis or the Discord style of emojis implemented under Roblox chat, so that you could trigger emotes with that kind of stuff. The goal. So goal pursuit rate. So this is a core loop. When everything is flowing normally, once you complete a goal, you'll have had a good time and will want to do a new thing. And you'll notice I've actually included onboarding in the core loop, which I don't want to say not a lot of developers do, because there's one person who pioneered it years before I did and realized, no, he's claiming credit for my work. I don't hear about it very often. And that is that onboarding is a continuous process, and I'm not talking about just tutorials. I'm saying once a player learns the mechanic, they will still the onboarding does not end once you think you know something. Who here's ever done a crafting game and forgotten a recipe? You have to relearn that. Even if you think you know the recipe, you still have to think about it. The onboarding here represents the friction between deciding you want to pursue a goal and actually pursuing it. It is the friction. It is figuring out how to do that. We have onboarding problems in day-to-day life without realizing it. Last week, I was kind of tired, and for the first time in years, I put the wrong shoe on the wrong foot. I hadn't done that since first grade. I'm not an idiot, I'd like to think, but I had an onboarding problem. I had an onboarding problem with my shoes. Onboarding problems are continuous. So whatever system you make, you can't just make a tutorial. For one, tutorials are not good. Most tutorials are not good. Teaching a player is good. Setting aside specific time for teaching them almost always takes them out of the fun. You need to find a way to keep it fun while teaching them, and that's about design. My go-to example, which, the jailbreak guys, I've talked to both of them at this point, and they're so chill. One of them actually reached out after my video, and they're just so nice people. And I love it because they are also amazing game designers. Jailbreak, when you first spawn in the prison, I wouldn't say it's subtle, but it works great. That blue arrow when you leave to show you where to get out. If that isn't playtesting related, then they have amazing instincts, because they show the player, okay, when you exit your cell, you immediately know which direction to go to get out. It is natural. You know what you're doing. You did not have to go through a tutorial. It's just you running through the hallways. And then once you're out, you'll see there's such almost comedic levels of they embraced the absurdity of onboarding in some senses, and just of please don't punch me to this one electrical sign. And so what do? You punch it. And then that's just they just think they only do that though for the really obvious ones. There are other ways to escape, if I remember correctly, that aren't as obvious. But the point is, players on their first time through, they know what to do. And in fact, on their second time through, if they've forgotten, how do I escape? How do I get this panel to open again? They're trying different hotkeys and they're trying things oh, punch it. Okay. Like onboarding is about communication, continuous communication of sometimes very complicated concepts, and that's why I've included it there. And I think I might have just spoiled the next slide. Kind of. Okay. Anyway, Minecraft survival mode. It's the core loop. In most cases, is described as core actions, and yes, asterisks, because this core loop, it's one I've actually presented before. In fact, I think I yanked this from a previous slide. This is good for viewing how your mechanics interact with each other. And that's an important thing to consider. This is not a bad design loop. In fact, my previous systems presentation was mostly about how systems interact with each other. Basically, the kind of stuff you learned about here, except applied to specific games. And, well, I hate to break it to you, but thanks to the social loop, the having fun with new people, thanks to that, I feel bad saying this, you really don't need that many mechanics in your game. Who here has ever been to, like, a coffee shop roleplay? What mechanics are there? There's like an espresso button. My Keurig has the same mechanics as that game. But this isn't a diss. This is just the absurdity of game design. It's because that game, with just the single mechanic of just dressing up and making coffee, they've captured an audience. It's great because the fantasy doesn't need any more than that. You just need the immersive environment. You don't need a progression loop. You don't need daily rewards. Like you don't need any of that stuff because a well-crafted mechanic can be enough if it's paired very well with the social loop. And heck, you don't need a single mechanic. You know what Discord is? It's just a raw, unfiltered social loop. It is a fun conversation you can have with strangers. Like that is what Discord is. Discord did not need a single game mechanic beyond social loops. And Roblox offers you that social loop for free. And so really, you don't stress too much about the explicit mechanic design in your game. Make it work with the players. By all means, if you can get mechanics to bounce off each other, your game could be better for it. You just have to pull it off. And that can be difficult, as my previous presentation discussed. But yeah, so, which by the way, I shouldn't reference it. Don't watch it. I wrote it on 40 hours of no sleep. It's not that great. I was very tired. But yeah.